Hey yo, you chilling with the vibes of DOC. You know how we do. Dirty.
Come on now, you heard my cousin, that's Sean Paul, man, representing the island. You hear me, man. It's the DOC on WRSV on such a lovely day. I know it's raining here in the great state of North Carolina, but I promised y'all I was going to bring somebody through who was going to bring that sunshine, the vibes, the love, the energy. And he goes by the name of the great Mojo Morgan, representing the royal family in Jamaica, known as the Morgan heritage. Mr. Mojo, how we doing, brother?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Blessed, highly favored, man. Wish I was doing as good as you, though, man. How's life treating you?
Man, we're grateful, man. We're here in the sun, giving thanks for health and strength, pushing through to another day. You know the vibe.
I love it. See, told y'all, man, coming through with the vibes, the energy. And Mojo, like I said, is a member of the great Morgan heritage. That's in an extensive family. I think that's the right word to call it. That spans, man, 30 siblings, you feel me, and grandchildren on top of that, all stemming from the late, great Peter Morgan. So we first and foremost start this off by, showing our love to the late, great Peter, who was, we celebrated his Day of Remembrance just a few days ago here in February. So we appreciate you for showing up, for letting us know about the new music that's coming up. I'm excited to get into it, Mojo. You ready to dive in, bro?
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Long live our brother Peter Morgan, the lead singer of Morgan Heritage.
Yes, indeed. Long live Peter, indeed. So starting off with this, for those who aren't familiar with the Morgan heritage, like I said, we're here in Raleigh, North Carolina. So some people might just be getting introduced to you and the greatness of the legacy. Can you tell me a little bit, me and my listeners, a little bit about Morgan heritage and what it means to be a member of the family?
Well, Morgan Heritage is 4 brothers and 1 sister, children of Denry Morgan, that has toured the world representing the country of Jamaica, but also Brooklyn, where we are born and raised, got our education in Springfield, Massachusetts. Moved back to Jamaica in the late 90s, connect with Bobby Digital and King Jammys, and brought the world albums like Protect Us, Jah One Calling, Don't Have to Dread. Went off on our own and produced the More Teachings album, got back with Bobby Digital and did the 3-in-1 album. And then, we brought in a new era of Morgan Heritage, working alongside VP Records, bringing the world albums like Full Circle, Mission in Progress. Took a little break for a few years and finished off that deal with Here Come the Kings. Then, what we did from there, we went on as independent recording music executives and brought the world the album Strictly Roots, which picked up a Grammy for us as producers and recording artists. So from there now, Abracadabra came into the loop. That got a nomination. And then we did Loyalty, Legacy throughout the pandemic. And then the last album we did with Peter before his ascension was The Homeland. And that's the lifespan of the career of Morgan Heritage, from children of Denry Morgan, growing up in the Rastafarian house of the 12 tribes of Israel in New York, all the way up into our ascension to greatness, and still continuing the legacy until the year 3000.
Yes, sir.
And beyond.
Yes, sir. Come on now, ladies and gentlemen, that was a quick synopsis of all the greatness that has gone on in the Morgan heritage. We didn't even get to talk about the Grammys yet. We didn't talk about that yet. The accolades that come along with it. But you get what I'm saying. So this is a family that is for all of my U.S. guys, my people, my friends, my family. You could put the Wayans together. You could put Jackson 5 together. You could put Isley's, like all of them together, and then just take them down to the island. And that's exactly what you got. All of the talent that comes from one family tree is impressive. And when I was introduced to you, Mojo, I was given a track that we're going to talk about a little bit later that I'm excited to talk about. But we've got some music that's coming from you. And you yourself are from Brooklyn, right?
100%. Representing to the fullest. Holding on to the heritage of Jamaica, Caribbean, where we originate from, the root.
Yes, sir. Now I've got my homeboys. So I got Rowan the Great. Shout out to Rowan and his brother Jay Wynn. Now Rowan's from the island directly, and Jay Wynn's from New York, but they call him Jamaican. Are you familiar with that term?
What they call him?
Jamaican. They say he's not Jamaican. He's not American. He's Jamaican.
Yeah, man, we know about the Jamaicans, man. They would classify Morgan heritage as Jamaicans as well.
Oh yeah. See,
But I've lived in Jamaica longer than I've lived in America, that's for sure.
come on, come on. Rep it, rep it. Now, for those who aren't familiar, once again, folks, we're on the line live with Mojo Morgan, hit maker, all right, rapper, percussionist, and member of the legendary Morgan heritage, straight from Jamaica. Now, starting off, I'm hearing through the grapevine that you used to be on tour with your dad, getting on stage, wearing what would you say, a blue suit, I believe it was, up there jumping up and down, having a good time. Is there any truth to that?
You know those little. I was looking like Eddie Murphy in Sexual Chocolate and coming to America.
That boy good. That's
the suit my dad had me in on the cover of Jet magazine, performing with Frankie Beverly on in Maze.
Wow.
Over at the Beacon Theater, man. You know, it was a great experience as a kid to be on stage with my dad, just dancing and enjoying his success and his ascension to the heights of the music industry.
Yes, and the heights indeed. Now, seeing that firsthand as a child, I would imagine it woke up your creative side. So you always had a passion for making music. Is that correct?
Yeah, it would have been hard for me to become something else. You know, children normally aspire to become the profession of their parents. That's the first thing that that's their first hero, you know, in most homes. And it was no different for us as children, as Morgan heritage. We wanted to carry on that mission that we saw our father set out upon.
I love it. See, continuing it, holding that and passing the baton. Now, you are the rapper of the rapper of the group, the percussionist of the group. So holding both, and also I'm hearing that you handle the business as well, right?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. Now,
working in the studio,
yeah,
juggling the business, making sure the interviews are on time. You know, there's a lot of different offices that represent the brand of Morgan heritage around the globe. So I just coordinate with them to ensure that we show up when we need to show up.
I love it. Now, wearing all of those hats and also being in the industry for since a child, because I was talking to a buddy of mine earlier, Mojo, excuse me, and he was saying that he was kind of losing his love or his passion for the industry. You know, it's kind of getting bland or a little boring for him. So, being yourself, how have you kept that fire lit under your butt for so long?
It gets difficult at times, especially in this technological revolution. We're living in a unique era of where we're going through, you know, the different mediums that are presenting themselves, and it's ever changing. The landscape is ever changing in the entertainment industry, not just for music, but for creatives across different types of mediums, whether it be film, television, literature. It gets more interesting as time goes by and as we develop as a society technologically. So for me, the passion is always live music, being on stage and presenting ourselves to the masses, you know what I mean? Sharing that vibe that can only be done when you do live music. I'm not a big fan of social media, but I understand the era that we're in, and we're up for the challenge. You know, we're keeping up with the youth. You see us alongside Popcorn, doing what we need to do, being present on social media, but not going overboard with it, because I think that sometimes there's overconsumption of all the things that people are doing online, and it's a lot of times it's not even real, Doc.
Right.
Just being honest, I've been in clubs and watched people put on a whole facade while that camera light was on. And as soon as it went off, they were looking very depressed, like they weren't even happy to be there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. It's that thing with social media, man, where we're going to utilize it for what it is, but we're not going to get caught up on it in a way where we allow it to dictate how we enjoy this beautiful thing that we create called music.
Right. I love it. See, and now my DJ buddy, I hope you're listening, man. These are wise words from the legend himself, living legend live, which is what we're doing right now with Mojo Morgan. I'm talking about Grammy Award-winning artist, producer, songwriter, and member of Morgan Heritage, who just explained to us, all of us, dropped some gems on us on how to keep that fire going, man, going for your passion, understanding what you need to do, and just focusing on that, and not getting too wrapped up in social media. I've had the same exact experiences, Mojo, where you see people online and it's an act. They flip the switch and it's not natural, and it kind of gets a little bit disparaging, but it's also kind of a confidence booster because it makes me want to go even harder to make sure that I don't lose my joy. You know what I mean?
100%. Authenticity is key in this life. And I believe that the authentic artists today that are not social media driven, that utilize it as a tool, are going to last for the next 10 to 15 years, like a Morgan Heritage, like a Stephen Marley, like a Buju Banton, a Bounty Killer, that transcends time. You know, you're not going to have a lot of artists that are able to do that in the social media age, because once Instagram and TikTok become a thing of the past, like Facebook and Twitter, you're going to see a lot of artists fade away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. All of the ones that were major on these social media platforms, gone. We saw that happen when they banned TikTok for about 12 hours. Everybody was going nuts. People didn't know, man. And that was just a taste. That was a taste, bro. Yeah, so it switches up. It's good to go ahead and split it up. Do your thing, man. Don't just depend on social media like he's telling you guys. Be that great in person as well. And also spread your eggs out in different baskets. Don't have everything on YouTube. Make your own website. Get your own thing going. Ownership is the key. Equity is the key. And one thing I love about your heritage, Mojo, is that you guys keep it all in house, but the story that I heard about the sulfur water and healing with Peter, and then creating the foundation on top of that, and then recording on top of that. Like, can you talk to me about the importance of that part of your life?
Well, Bad Fountain is a place in St. Thomas, Eastern St. Thomas, that our father discovered, you know, right before we started to record in Jamaica with King Jammys and Bobby Digital. And he found healing in there. He was told by his doctor that he's facing a stroke or a heart attack if he doesn't make a lifestyle change. He went to Jamaica to relax a little bit and found this place, and it was very beautiful for him to discover this type of healing. It was very beautiful for him to discover this type of this type of this type of healing. And that healing really started to become infectious. And he wanted to share it with every aspect of his family, his children, his wives. He wanted to share it with his mother, father, his siblings, because, you know, to see an ailment that you had for 15 years go away after one or two treatments underneath that hot water that is, you know, of course it's coming from a volcanic source, or it wouldn't be naturally hot coming out of the ground. Right. And have the ability to boil an egg but not burn your skin and bring you physical healing, it's very inspiring. We wrote songs like Down by the River, Living at the Bath Fountain Hotel. Some of our epic songs throughout our career was written right in St. Thomas. So that led to us making St. Thomas our home and bringing the world a festival called East Fest that, you know, as you heard at the conference in Jamaica, Shaggy's IMC conference, we're bringing it back, you know, if not later this year, next year. And it became that place that unified us as a family. So now, you know, when it's that time of year, around the time when we lost our father, we gather here in Jamaica and just bring everyone together, like we did when we were doing, you know, the East Fest Festival.
I love it. See, this is incredible. I hope all of you are listening and taking heed to these words and absorbing the story of Mojo Morgan, of the Morgan heritage, the importance of, honest to God, just love, and honestly staying true to your craft, staying true to your family, and also having that foundation that goes absolutely nowhere, man. So your foundation has brought you to the music industry. It's brought you in different buildings in front of different people. Shout out to Sharon Burke, the Burke family, for going ahead and just bringing me to the IMC where I was able to meet you, meet your family, meet the members of Morgan Heritage. And I'll tell you the power of networking. Mojo, if I can take a second of your time, is when I was sitting there watching the panel, and for those who are a little bit out of the loop or what we're talking about, there's an IMC, it's Island Music Conference. There was a panel, it was a discussion, and Morgan Heritage was the topic of discussion. Shout out to Judith Bodley, who did the hosting of that panel. But while I was sitting there listening to you, Specs the Boss sent me a record of yours, and while I'm looking at my phone, I look up, I'm like, this the guy's right here. Like, I gotta talk to this guy because I just got a new record from one of my favorite DJs, and he's right in my face. So
Big
I'm
up
like,
my brother Specs the Boss, man.
Right.
Mad love. We go back a long time, 20 plus years.
yes sir, all love, man. For those who don't know Specs, man, check him out ASAP. We'll put a link up on our I Love Choice FM as well. Willie Daniels forwarded it to us and everything, so I was like, yeah, I definitely have to meet this gentleman. And the energy that you gave off was infectious. You are the youngest member in the group, but you do a lot. You hold things together, and you're now dropping a track by yourself featuring who? Who you got on there? Tell the people.
Popcorn, Chronicler, Pablo YG, and Peter Morgan representing for the Morgan Heritage family. My new single is called Make It. It's available on all platforms. Make sure you run it up, stream it, share it, like it, post a comment. It's for the next generation. It's for the youth. Whatever you want to achieve within this life, you can make it. Whatever you aspire, the greatness you'd like to attain, all the things that you want to do before you leave this realm, you can make it with a little hard work, dedication, faith, and courage.
Ooh, wait, come on. If that didn't put a battery in your back, I don't know what will. You might be dead already. Who knows? But ladies and gentlemen, man, that's straight from Mojo Morgan. He's got heat coming. And this is just one track. You got a project that you're working on too, right?
Yeah, the new album, Mr. Mojo Rising, is coming later this year. And it's going to be star-studded. It's Morgan Heritage presents Mojo Morgan as a producer, songwriter, and recording artist. So on some songs I have one verse, some songs I just do the hook, some songs I do the entire song alone. But for me, it's about each song having its own identity that creates a body of work that is unique, that I like to call Rasta Rock is the name of my sound, which fuses together reggae, dancehall, hip-hop, and, rock and roll. I grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts, so I can't leave the music that I love, probably listen to more than any other music, is alternative rock music.
Yes, sir. Having that diverse palette when it comes to music, I feel is one of the greatest tools that any artist can have. Because if you're just taking from one genre or taking from one style, it's okay, you're just going to be a carbon copy. But when you have the ability to pull from different, like how Michael Jackson would pull from different genres, different artists, and give us what he gave us, you're doing that. And you guys have been doing that, which is what I love about it. And you're also taking risks. There are a lot of scared artists out here, Mojo.
Yeah, it's easy to just copy and paste what the status quo is and what the sound is on radio today. But when you push the envelope like our favorite icons from reggae music, Steel Pulse did, with True Democracy, Rastafari Centennial, and the list goes on and on of the great albums that they brought and fused together blues and rock music and R&B. It made Steel Pulse stand out, and I think we took pride in pushing the envelope musically and bringing in R&B vocal stylings on songs like She's Still Loving Me and Down by the River, that you could be like, if you play that in a cappella, you could hear a full R&B track on there like it was, Freddie Jackson or Marvin Gaye singing those songs, right?
Right.
And then you go to tunes like Don't Have to Dread, where we flip the dialect and tap more into our Jamaican upbringing by our parents, and it adds to the diversity of who we are and what makes us unique. Like, we didn't come to Jamaica trying to sound like Bone to Killer or talk like Bone to Killer. We came to Jamaica being ourselves, and we're grateful to all Jamaicans worldwide that have embraced us as their own.
Come on. I love it. And now speaking on that, there's such a wide diversity, the diaspora of Black, of all of us here from the island to Africa to right here in the States. It's just so diverse, and the way that you guys are able to communicate to each and every one of those is a gem. Like, that's something that I know a lot of people may be envious of, and I hope that envy turns into motivation sooner than later. But I want to ask Mojo, a question for you, because I'm an only child. I grew up just one of me. Now you being one of, I believe, 30, right?
Yes. We
Being
have
one
30 siblings from my dad.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Very busy man. Very busy man. Love him.
He didn't watch TV in the bedroom, that's for sure.
Now, being one of 30, growing up, what's the I guess, what's that like, bro? Like, how is that being one of 30? Does everybody have their role? Are you all focused on one thing? Like, talk to me about that.
Well, I mean, the younger ones are very taken care of, and the older ones have a lot of responsibility. The blueprint, in a nutshell, is that the parents worked with the older siblings to raise the younger ones. That means as you got older, you got more responsibility. You started off on wiping off the kitchen counter after dinner, then you moved up to taking out the garbage, then you moved up to washing the dishes, then you moved up to cleaning the yard, then you moved up to driving, the sisters to go get the groceries. Mm-hmm. And, it progressed, and you learned the responsibilities of life. Our parents made sure that we were prepared. All the boys in the house had to start cooking from we were 13, 14 years old. We all had to start to learn to cook. Oh, so wow. All of the boys in the house can look at any woman when they come with the burnt up or salty food, say, listen, baby, let me show you how to do this. This is not right. This is definitely not right.
I love it, man. So the roles, I like that. See, that's like I love it. Keyword was blueprint. So with that being said, I'm hoping that our Choice FM listeners are listening. Once again, we're in Central North Carolina, broadcasting all the way out to the beach or near the beach. And there are differences in the way that people are raised that I'm understanding and learning. And I love the differences in it. And I hope that you guys are listening and taking heed to it. Like, all right, put them babies to work, okay? You know, there, man, make sure they go ahead and give them some responsibilities early so they can grow up to be some well-rounded individuals and build character.
Yeah, man. And they don't have a sense of entitlement. You have value for when your parents bring home, a nice flat screen TV. You don't take it for granted that they had to work for 2, 3, 4 weeks to be able to set a little money aside to save up for that. Because while they're working to give you a higher quality of life, a better standard of living that they grew up on, them still have to keep the roof over your head. Them still have to keep the utilities on in the house. Them still have to keep food on the table.
Yeah, exactly. They got to learn it, for sure. And the sooner that they do, the
they got to make it. In a nutshell, they got to make it.
Yeah, come on, man. Put them through it. Ladies and gents, I hope y'all are listening. Mr. Mojo is dropping some gems, some jewels for you. Now, before we wrap up here, because I know you're very, very busy, man, Mr. Morgan, I wanted to ask, now, being with family and working with family, I myself I'm going to try to do it. I know a couple of my members of my family have tried to work together as well. The legend has it that you should never mix business and family. How are you able to keep that strong? And also, do you have any suggestions for any people out here mixing business and family for how to keep it successful?
Gramps always says one thing when we have our business called as Morgan Heritage. Let's think like a corporation. We're going to vote on everything. Majority vote wins, and we make the best decision possible to move our career forward. And I believe that you can do that within any business. If you separate the business from the family and you don't make it personal, you can be successful together. And when you do clash, I implore you all, listeners listening to the great Doc Johnson, don't let the sun go down with your wrath. You either disagree, or you agree to disagree. But you find a solution. Be solution-driven and not conflict-driven. And that's the best advice I can give any family that wants to do business together.
Man, come on now, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're listening. Keep those ears open, all right? It's the DOC right here on the line with the legendary Mr. Mojo Morgan of the legendary Morgan Heritage, all right? Repping New York, repping Jamaica, repping, what'd you say, Massachusetts as well, right? Or was it Wisconsin?
Springfield, Mass in the building, always.
Man's got, he's definitely got a lot of character. He's definitely got a lot of personality. You guys need to check him out ASAP. Mojo, where can they check you out? Give him the socials and all that good stuff.
At Got Mojo Morgan across all socials, or at Morgan Heritage across all socials. Morgan Heritage Official on TikTok. MorganHeritageMusic.com is the website. My new website, my management team is putting it together. MojoMorgan.com. So a lot of things working in the future. We got the new world tour, MH 2.0, with my sister Una back on tour.
Hey.
So look out for us in the city near you. Jamaica Morgan, first year as frontline lead singer for Morgan Heritage, working on his album with Damian Marley at the same time.
Yes, sir.
So a lot of positive things in the future for the family. And thank you so much, Doc. All the people listening here right here on Choice FM, keep it locked. My name is Mojo Morgan of Morgan Heritage. This is where it's hot.
Man, spoken like a true boss. You can tell it ain't on them, it's in them. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the DOC on WRSV. If there's anything that we learned today, I think it could be summed up by a nice quote from Miss Frizzle, one of my favorite young school teachers from the Magic School Bus, when she says, take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. You're learning from Mojo Morgan of Morgan Heritage. It's the DOC. We're going to head on out of here the right way and jump on into the newest single. It's Mojo. It's featuring Popcorn. It's featuring Chronic Law. It's Pablo YG. And it's called Make It right here on the People's Station. Remember where you heard it first with the Doc on WRSV.
Yo, what up, man? It's Trader Truth, King Truth. Right now I'm checking in with the homie Doc.